What's up everyone, Moonrider here, and this alien looking thing is the Mercury M1 Pro wireless gaming mouse from GravaStar. For $99.95, it features wireless connectivity, 5 programmable buttons, customizable performance settings, optical switches, and an ergonomic magnesium alloy design. But that's just scratching the surface, so let's take a deep dive into the Mercury M1 Pro to see what it can really do, and if it's the right gaming mouse for you. But first, full disclosure, GravaStar was cool enough to send me this mouse. All they asked for in return was my personal feedback. The review that follows is just that. So let's get started. We'll begin by taking a look at the M1 Pro's outer packaging, which is covered in texture, detail, and specs. The front of the box features a life-size depiction of the Mercury M1 Pro in a glossy finish. There is a ton of green on display, and as a 90s kid, the whole aesthetic gives me the alien ships from Independence Day vibes. Detailed specs can be found on the back, as well as social media handles and a QR code linked directly to GravaStar's homepage. As for what's in the box, the first thing you see after removing the lid is the Mercury M1 Pro. The variant I received is the gunmetal option. With its hollowed out magnesium alloy shell, the M1 Pro feels incredibly light, weighing only 88 grams, and it's cool to the touch. Meanwhile, it still has a plastic underside with cubbyhole for storing the USB receiver. The futuristic, alien-looking mouse also comes equipped with Teflon foot pads, 6 buttons including a DPI switch, scroll wheel, optical Omron blue point switches, good for 50 million clicks, spots for adding anti-slip stickers, and of course RGB. Also included in the box is this USB-A to USB-C adapter and 1K receiver, anti-slip stickers, a handy user manual, and a 7-foot braided USB to USB-C cable. From what I've read online, the Mercury M1 Pro's design is polarizing, but I for one love it. It's so sleek, so wild. I especially love the RGB in the alien insect looking abdomen. I know I said earlier the mouse profile makes me think of the ships in Independence Day, but the RGB core inside the shell makes me think of the scarabs in The Mummy. The embellishments, Game Beyond Limits, and M1 look super rad too, which kind of sucks because the mouse comes with 2 anti-slip stickers for these 2 buttons, but I don't want to cover them up. Now in terms of build quality, the Mercury M1 Pro feels solid, but I did have to do a bit of research to confirm whether the skeletal shell was really magnesium alloy, and it is. In fact, GravaStar does offer the mouse in plastic, but that's the Mercury M2 model, and it's a bit cheaper and a bit lighter. Unlike plastic, the magnesium alloy does a superb job regulating and dissipating heat. Obviously, the hollowed out design plays a large part, allowing for air movement through the mouse, and therefore beneath the palm. But beyond that, the skeletal frame actually feels very cool to the touch, and even after gripping it for a while to the point it warms up, after releasing it even for just a short bit, it's cool again, much more so than my plastic solid body mouse. Now, the hollowed out shell took some getting used to, but now I don't really mind it. Fits in the hand really well and has 2 dedicated spots on the side for idle fingers. However, out of the box you can see that spot has this slatted design. It looks cool, but it doesn't provide the most comfort or grip. The included anti-slip stickers really help here. I applied one of these on the left side of the mouse and it's much more comfortable to rest my thumb on when not interacting with the side buttons. As for those side buttons, those took some getting used to as well, but this is because I was so used to my Razer Basilisk, and before then, I was only gaming on a Logitech G502 Hero, which are 2 very similar mice to each other, but both feel very different compared to the Mercury M1 in terms of body shape and side button placement, where theirs were more horizontally positioned, the M1s are arched. But now that I've been using the Mercury M1 Pro for about 2 weeks, I'm much more accustomed to its side button placement. However, there is one button I still long for, and it's the #1 reason I find myself switching back to my old Basilisk, and that's the left and right buttons on the scroll wheel. The M1 Pro still has the middle click button, which in all my shooter games I use that for reload. But I used to always use the left and right scroll buttons to interact with E. I've been able to adapt to this in most games, but when I play Borderlands with all the item drops, weapon and ammo chests, I find myself needing that dedicated mouse scroll button, because strafing with A and D and also trying to hit E to open chests and pick up weapons just isn't as efficient. With the M1 Pro, you have 3 modes of connection to choose from. If you prefer gaming wirelessly, then Bluetooth and wireless 2.4G are the modes for you. However, these convenient wireless modes come at the cost of true performance. So if speed and precision is of the utmost importance to you, then wired may be your best option. Setting up wired is the simplest method, as it's just plug and play with the included USB cable. Wireless 2.4G mode is the second simplest. Switch the slider on the bottom of the mouse to the wireless logo. Then plug the included 1K dongle into your PC or laptop, and the M1 Pro will automatically connect. Note that 2.4G mode is not supported by Mac. However, Bluetooth is. Switch the slider on the bottom of the mouse to BT mode. Then on your PC, go to Settings, Devices, Add Bluetooth, and Bluetooth for mice, keyboards, etc. The M1 Pro will be recognized as GravaStar M1. If you need to force the M1 Pro into pairing mode, click and hold buttons 1, 2, and 3 for 3 seconds until the light begins flashing. In terms of performance, the M1 Pro has loads to offer. For starters, it features an NRF 52833 main control chip paired with a PAW 3395 sensor that delivers precise tracking, 50G acceleration, 4000 Hz polling rate, and for the Flash or Philip Fry on his 100th cup of coffee, up to 26,000 max DPI. Of course, all this power sucks a lot of juice, which is why the M1 Pro packs a 400 mAh battery. Battery life varies greatly by connection type and performance-based options, which can be adjusted, enabled, or disabled within GravaStar's software. That software can be downloaded from gravastar.com/pages/download. Once you have the software installed, be sure to set the mouse to either 2.4G mode or attach your USB-C cable. When I use the mouse in Bluetooth mode, it isn't recognized by the software. Within the software, there is the customization menu within the home icon. Here you can reassign 5 of the 6 buttons, with the left main button being that exception. You can also save up to 4 custom configurations, as well as export or import other configurations. Lastly, on the far right, you can adjust debounce time, which is how fast the switch registers a click. The next menu, Performance, lets you adjust DPI stages, report rate, and various sensor settings, all of which will not only impact performance, but wireless battery life as well. 6 DPI stages can be assigned to each saved configuration at a time. Simply select a stage, adjust the slider, and the DPI is automatically saved. Report rate is also polling rate, and with a higher report rate, it also provides lower latency, smoother movement, and all-around better performance. The default setting is 1000 with only the included 1K receiver, but if you purchase either the 4K receiver separately or purchase the Battle Worn edition with the receiver included, then the report rate will allow for up to 4000. Sensor settings cover a wide range of performance settings and enhancements. Starting with Mode Select, this box will indicate corded if your mouse is plugged in via USB. When you switch to 2.4G wireless, you'll have options for low performance and high performance. Despite being performance settings, they still pale in comparison to wired mode, which has an output greater than or equal to 1000 report rate. Meanwhile, low and even high performance modes only have outputs of less than or equal to 1000. Of course, with the 4K dongle, your performance could be much improved. That is, if you need that much performance. LOD, or lift-off distance, is the point in which the sensor stops transmitting signal because it's too far away from a surface. Checking peak performance and selecting between 30 seconds and 40 minutes forces the microcontroller to run at max power and with the sensor light shining at full brightness. It's basically an overdrive mode, after which the M1 Pro reverts to low power mode. Ripple control, angle snapping, and motion sync are all pretty much movement assistance. Ripple control smooths out jitters, which is essentially helpful at high DPI. Angle snapping has the sensor attempt to straighten out your movements. This feature can be useful in gaming, but can be especially beneficial for digital artists and editors. Meanwhile, motion sync is referred to as G-Sync or FreeSync for mice. GravaStar describes it as an internal smoothing correction algorithm in the sensor related to drawing circles and discrete movements. However, they say it can cause up to a 1 millisecond delay in action, so if you prefer latency to smoothing correction, you're best leaving this feature disabled. The last couple menus include macros, allowing you to create, export, and import. Then there's lighting, which offers 5 lighting modes. You can adjust brightness and speed and set lights to turn off after inactivity to save battery. Lastly, there is system settings, where when connected in wireless mode, you can activate long distance mode, again, at the expense of wireless battery life. Right, so that's it for our close-up look at the Mercury M1 Pro. I'm really curious what you think, so let me know in the comments if you'll be picking one of these up or not. As for me, I really enjoy using it, and I think it has a lot to offer. The performance settings and software enhancements really elevate its standing for the competitive gaming market. And the wireless options, hollowed out frame for air venting, and the super cool to the touch magnesium alloy can really benefit gamers of all skill levels. The styling may be hit or miss, but if you're like me and you find the design cool and wild, then I think you'll really be happy with it. Anyway, that's it for my review of the GravaStar Mercury M1 Pro. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please be sure to give it a like. And also, subscribe to the channel for more gaming setup content and tech reviews like this. Thanks for watching. Later.